Ever since Square Enix announced that they were going to be doing some restructuring, refocusing on their core IPs, shedding all the concerns of the West, instead focusing on what made them a great company to begin with, I've been willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. In regards to the Dragon Quest HD-2D remakes, there was some concerns where there was Type B or Type A, Type B heroes, or maybe just doing away with the whole male-female system. I thought, potentially this could be a translation error. Okay, it was somebody who was coming forward with some non-concrete information. I was waiting to see if there was going to be any development, and then we see stupid stuff like this, and I'm just wondering, it's like, who's calling for this? Who would purchase and look forward to the remake of a game that is over 30 years old, wanting to see discolored trash bag underwear? Like what are we actually doing here in regards to the female hero getting but yellow shorts and still a cleavage exposing top? Like, what are we actually doing here? Okay, this really is a throwback, and I know that I've mentioned this before in regards to some of this weird Japanese censorship, to the early 90s Super Nintendo days, the Halcyon days of JRPGs, where they would make these really weird changes. Like, okay, if you had a female character who was riding in, she was an angelic being or something like that. In the West, they would go ahead and add a little bit of additional cloud coverage so that there wouldn't be so much exposed cleavage. It was like Siren from Final Fantasy VI comes to mind on that one. I think they added a couple of additional waves to cover some stuff up. There's just been weird translation in order to appeal to the Western sensibilities during that time, but I thought that this was supposed to be the side of the world that was far more liberated, far more open-minded, but instead now they're just trying to rewrite history. Like, what's the purpose of this? This makes no sense at all whatsoever. And especially, you're going back, like, this is adding an additional bush to the Mona Lisa in the background. This is thinking that there needs to be a couple more clouds over there on that panel of the Sistine Chapel. This is Akira Toriyama's character designs, okay? And you think that you can do it better to appeal to nobody who's going to be buying this game? What are you doing? This is going to negatively impact Dragon Quest III's HD-2D remake, and then the eventual, which has already been announced. There's no concrete release date for it, but the 1 and 2 HD-2D remakes, and then anything moving forward. I love the games that Square Enix has in its back catalog. Like, at time of recording, Final Fantasy VIII, there is not a game that's out there that I've tried to love more than that. I've tried to love that game so much. It's like a new step-parent that enters the picture, but try as I might, I don't like any of the characters that aren't. Squall's fine, Renoa's decent, Irvine, I think, is pretty. He's probably my favorite of the mainline characters. Laguna, Kyrios, and Ward, that's so much better. Okay, like they're the preferred party. Quistis, after they leave Balm Garden, she's superfluous. Selfie never really gets too much of a character, and Zell, I hate him with every fiber of my being. And that game's 25 years old. I would still play that more than anything at modern gaming, with some rare exceptions, is putting out. This isn't one of those changes that make sense either. Like, I'm really racking my head because the way that those freaks will just go ahead and try to say that this is equivalent to what they did to Tifa in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, or they also went back and they changed the cowboy seat so the 16-year-old girl doesn't have cleavage. Like, you have to also understand that there's so many moving parts, so much theory crafting going on with that yeah, if it isn't a one-to-one with everything else in the compilation, there's going to be more questions than answers, and all of that stuff is gone over with a fine-tooth comb. There are different elements at play. This right here, this is just straight up censorship. There's no way to cover this. And there's no way to talk about this outside of the strict confines that somebody over there at Square Enix thought that, you know what, in order to appeal to those round eyes, we need to go ahead and cover up the Japanese cartoon girls. No, you don't. It doesn't work. And there's examples when you just simply go ahead, tell those censorship cucks to go ahead and stuff it. You will see successes. Like the Lollipop Chainsaw RePOP. It just dropped. I'm sure this game is great. It's been a long time. And Julia looks exactly like Julia did back when the game first released. I think I bought it. I would really have to go back into my library. Like, I still have all of my physical copies. I got them in a big Tupperware bin. It's like back when I was really bad at collecting Wii U, Xbox 360, and PS3 games. I probably have, no word of a lie, like 300 games I'm pretty sure Lollipop Chainsaw was in there. Okay. And to be fair, I've probably only played maybe a quarter of them. There was a point in time where every new release was coming out, and I was the night manager at a movie store, and I could just easily pre-purchase a lot of games that were out there. And also I was reasonably close to a Blockbuster where after a couple of weeks, they would get rid of all of their overflow of the new games and the new titles that would come out, and then they sell them out at $20 off of regular sticker price, and they would be practically brand new. That's also how I bolstered my collection, but that's why with all of these censorships, with all of these remakes, and it's sad when it's like the old games, like when Capcom puts out a fighting game collection of games that, you know, just haven't been available on non-exotic hardware, like, you know, Power Stone getting a proper port, because I heard something that, yeah, you know, maybe it could have been out there on the PSP, but if you weren't one of the 6 people that had a Dreamcast in 1999 to about 2002 when that thing was actually getting supported by Sega, you never would have been able to play that OG party fighter. But now you can. You just have to wade through all of the insanity that Capcom is currently doing. But no, you have the likes of Suda51, which this is one of his games, and then also something that I'm going to be talking about, and it's actually right up there in the corner, Shadows of the Damned. It's Suda51 and also former Capcom employee Shinji Okami deriding censorship for the modern audiences, how the Western gaming industry has fallen, but that's another topic in another video. When you don't do this stuff, like there's examples that are going on right now, when you kowtow to that very vocal minority that's out there that wants to see these changes, yeah, you can go ahead and appeal to them. You'll have a game like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, Tales of Kenzara Zao, Flintlock. Dozens of players will flock to your failing censored game. Or you can be like Black Myth Wukong and break all kinds of records. The choice is yours, gamer. Lollipop Chainsaw RePOP, trying to merge all of the words together. Producer assures players remake has no censorship. Says a day one patch solely meant to fix bugs, which that's unfortunate about modern games where, yeah, you're going to have a day one patch because stuff's a little bit flumpy when it gets shipped out there. Like, if we could work on that stuff, if that was the biggest concern about gaming, I wouldn't have to talk about gaming. I would just be playing these games and praising them like so many other people that are out there. But frankly, we can't do that because this example, this re-release, this remaster is not the norm. The norm right now is going back and, yeah, oh, it's about time. Oh, we have this beloved game that we need to go ahead and bring forward to the modern audiences, the modern platforms. Okay, it's been locked behind old technology for a long time, and now we have such love for the source material, except for this aspect. And oh yeah, no, we're gonna be changing anything. We're just gonna be updating it. There's gonna be some quality of life improvements. You're gonna have the camera's gonna get fixed, and some of those very, very offensive costumes are going to get changed, but in general, it's just going to be such a better, more playable experience. Shut up. We know what you're doing. The producer of Lollipop Chainsaw RePOP assures that there is no censorship going on yet again, with changes to original mode being made for the better. All right. As the original game featured cheerleader Juliet Starling. Oh, what did I call her? Julia? Sorry, my mistake. It's close though. In a variety of costumes, many salacious fans feared the Lollipop Chainsaw RePOP would be censored from modern sensibilities. And this only grew after comments about the game having a more realistic approach to graphics was taken by fans as a mealy-mouthed way of confirming as much. CEO of Dragami Games and executive producer of the original game, Yoshimi Yasuda, instead reassured fans that he did his best to prevent censorship, and later confirmed, along with the scenario and script being unaltered, which is great because it's just your regular old B-grade horror film. Like, it's goofy as all hell. I do like the charm of the game quite a bit. I'd be willing to go back and play it for sure. The developers loathe censorship like fans do. Yes, we talked about that before. Now, while the RePOP mode will feature pop art graphics over most of the blood and gore, which plays into the character, so that's not really censorship in so much as there's a stylized approach that they had with the original, so I can understand them wanting to do that. And then, of course, yeah, the technical limitations. The Xbox 360 compared to modern PC and modern consoles. Yeah, that's I don't mind that. I really don't mind that. While however, VGC reported that it was recently confirmed original mode would feature some changes. As such, Yasuda took to X in a lengthy post to reassure fans this wouldn't include censorship. I will explain the original mode. The original mode is a mode that reproduces the same gore expression, cutscene, direction, character change, motion, comic style, character introduction images, costumes, achievements, etc. as the original version. For the original mode, which we applied for approval, there were no requests for revisions from any of the platformers. This is as I explained before. Fantastic. Next, the differences of the original versions are as follows. First, all of the parameters that have been adjusted for modern action games are different. This includes attack power, movement speed, camera movement range, combo input acceptance time, and initial combo skills, Yasuda continued. Other changes include the number of remaining shots in the blaster, changes the behavior of Nick's special moves. That's the head of the boyfriend that's lovingly attached to her hip. The addition of options to automate QTEs. Okay, yeah, that's great. The change of ranking mode to a time attack that plays through all stages, changes to the lineup of items in the shop, price adjustments, the addition of a chain attack system, image quality, resolution FPS, in addition to Yukari Tamura's voice. Yeah, see, that all sounds like good, high quality of life changes that you would expect and that you would actually appreciate in a modern remake, not changing, the attack of, I remember that boss fight where he plays his guitar and hurls insults at you. Would you see that in a modern game? Okay, would there be any hack and slash that's out there right now? I would boldly shoot at a blonde-haired blue... Well, first of all, okay, Juliet wouldn't be a character to begin with, but would they hurl epithets at you? I don't think so. Outside of, I don't know, maybe like cishet white man. Tamura will act as the additional Japanese voice for Juliet alongside Yoko Hikasa and Iri Kinemura. Okay, Tara Strong is her English voice actor, who she was back in the cut, back when she was just a closeted psychopath. Yasuda further explained how the original mode changes were only to improve Lollipop Chainsaw RePOP. I've also fixed some of the incorrect implementations in the original version, specifically the cutscene that plays when you defeat the zombie big chicken in the psychedelic world in stage 3 that has been changed in the cutscene to a slow motion scene for defeating the gatekeeper zombie. This change was made to unify the rules for zombie defeat cutscenes. Oh, cool. Fixing stuff that didn't make sense in the original game. Another good reason why you'd go back and revisit games. But yes, we have applied for a day one patch, but the purpose is to make corrections based on the platformer, but to fix bugs and improve the quality of the ranking mode. Thank you, God. Fantastic. And yeah, I'm excited to play the game. I'm quite excited. I'll probably pick it up maybe the holiday sales this year. Okay, somewhere in on and around Christmas. I got a lot of stuff to do between now and then. I just also hope that, people support efforts like this and also games kind of like this. We're seeing the success of Astrobot over there on Sony, showing that yes, there is a way forward. You don't have to appeal to a modern audience in order to sell a game. Hell, your best performing game of the year is very likely to be Astrobot, which is just simply a game, not a message delivery system. While we're seeing other companies lose credibility or lose people, like the mind behind, and I think I'm going to delve into this in a future video as well in regards to, Capcom losing the creative mind behind Devil May Cry, meaning the next time we see Dante and Virgil in an outing, it just might not be the high quality that we've seen with Devil May Cry 5 before, where they refused to put in any microtransactions that were deleterious to the gameplay experience. We could see the same over-monetization strategies that have hindered Street Fighter 6, as well as the modern sensibilities in regards to character designs over there. I'm not saying that we need to have all of these sexy, hyper-stylized characters. I'm just saying that the people like what they like. It's not Concord character designs. It's not Sweet Baby Inc. influence. It really is just as simple as having fun, aloof characters that, pack a punch, kick ass, and are quite a piece of ass. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.